It is now.
Don't press end. That's not the button you want.
We want to start the stream, don't
I know it's
we?
been a
Wow.
while for both of us. Or well, I don't know about you. I'm rusty.
I'm past rusty.
Well, the last stream you did was your no power stream, right?
I believe so.
Yeah. And that was how long ago? When did Helene go through? No, more than 2 weeks ago.
It's been over a month.
Yeah. Hi, Mark.
Hey, Mark. How are you, buddy? Rusty and past rusty. That's right.
Rusty, past rusty. What does that make you, Mark? You're not crusty, are you?
Oh, me.
What the heck do I have over there? Hold on. I'm just seeing something on my bureau there.
Oh, okay.
Okay. As I said, I'm trying to clean things. Well, I said I need to clean my desk off. Just came across an old Logitech wired mouse, which are still good. You should have a wired mouse. This wireless technology is great until it doesn't work. Look at these. A partial spindle of old CDs. I don't think I'm going to be using those anymore. And what do you do with these? You probably shouldn't throw them away.
Make mini frisbees out of it.
And this isn't something I wouldn't give it as my computer screwdriver kit with all the little gadgets in it. This I would certainly keep. I don't know about these. Anybody want make some Christmas ornaments out of it, maybe? All right.
Well, Mark, it's funny that you ask. We are going to be talking about the old stamp.
So back in the day when we were kids, I don't want to speak for you, Paul, but we chatted. Mark and I, Paul and I, Mark, Mark, used to collect stamps. So I'm going to pull out my stamp collection sometime and look through it. And Paul has kind of caught the bug, I think. I'll let him say.
A little bit. I mean, it's something to do. And it ain't cheap. You can get some expensive stamps.
Oh, that's for sure. That's for sure.
And they are air stamps too, that are worth big time money.
Mm-hmm.
There's one. Is it a airmail stamp?
The
with
inverted
the
Jenny?
upside down
Yeah.
biplane?
Yeah.
Man, chunk of money.
That is an interesting story for maybe one of our treasure streams, because that is fascinating.
Yeah.
How it happened and how the person acquired them and how that person kind of how the postal clerk said wanted to take them back. And the guy who bought them said, no, you're not taking those back. And yeah. Probably the most famous error stamp out there, but not the most valuable, not the oldest.
No. Where would you put that stamp compared to coinage? What coin would you?
Oh gosh, one of those. I mean, I'd have to research. I would guess one of those stamps, because originally they were on a sheet, and the person who owned it, took them apart and sold them separately. And I think one of those stamps, just one, I don't know how many he had on the sheet. I think you're talking well over $200,000. So yeah, it's pretty expensive.
Yeah. In fact, now all these stamps that you're going to see, I just ordered a catalog from Mystic Stamps Company, and they try to hook you into a subscription
Yep.
where they send you stamps every month.
Kind of like
Wow.
Littleton Coin Company.
Yeah. Now
They'll send you
Littleton,
this,
yeah,
then you get the approvals.
and at one time Littleton Coins did sell stamps. It was Littleton Stamps and Coins back in the day. I just have to say early 70s. If it didn't go back further than that.
Yeah.
But anyway.
Oh, Littleton was selling back in the 50s.
Was it? But anyway, get back to Mystic. I just ordered a catalog. Just me and Jonathan have been talking about it. Well, evidently I didn't see the fine print or something. Well, they sent me 8 envelopes of stamps with multiple stamps in them. And there's some nice stamps here. But it's, it kind of brought back some old memories when I did collect.
Oh, yeah.
So, Blenda said, good grief, another pile of stuff.
Well, I'm the same way. My father, back in the day, it was pretty much, okay, we're going to get this, like when I was 8 or 9 or 10, we're going to get this kid collecting stamps or collecting coins. He needs something. He needs something to do. And so he brought me into the city, and he knew somebody who owned a stamp shop. So he bought an album. This is back in the 70s, and some stamps, and then went to a coin store and bought me some coins. I ended up connecting with coins more than stamps, but collecting stamps is awesome. You can learn about countries that don't exist anymore, countries that do exist, their leaders, their history. Like with coins, their stamps are measured in their currency, so you get to know what their currency is.
Yep.
And stamps, well, like coins too, but there are some very expensive stamps without question, but there are also some really inexpensive stamps.
Yeah. The point I was trying to get to is in that catalog, they had the picture of the biplane upside down, but it said call for pricing. And I thought to myself, that thing got to be so much money that they
gotta call them. Let's call them now. Oh, they're probably closed.
They are. They close it. They're in New York. They close it, I think, 5 o'clock.
Okay, we should do that on a live stream. We should call, say we're part of a syndicate, an investment syndicate. We're looking to buy an inverted Jenny airmail stamp.
It cost us more money to send it back and forth for our turn to keep it at the house.
If you have that stamp, you better have a safe deposit box.
You got that right. JBP, welcome.
Hi, JBP.
She collects stamps. She started out getting them off of envelopes.
Yeah.
When I get stamps used, I try to keep one of each. And that's a good way to do it. What first day release, Jonathan? Is that what they're called?
The first day covers?
Yes.
Yeah, those, I like those. If you find a topic that you can connect with.
Like, I want the new Hank Aaron.
Yeah.
Set.
In New Hampshire, see, I gotta go back through this. I'm going by memory. In New Hampshire, there used to be something called the Old Man of the Mountain. Have you heard of that?
Yes.
Okay. Granite outcropping back in like the.
It's in fact it's on y'all's coin too, ain't it?
It is on the coin. It used to be on our license plate. It's a part of our heritage.
Yep.
Back when, after the Revolutionary War, and people were exploring the northern part of New Hampshire. Well, the Europeans were. They found this, so it's just a symbol. And oh boy, Paul, so don't quote me on this. It's like 1955, in the middle 50s. They created an Old Man of the Mountain commemorative stamp, and I really liked it. And so I know I have a first day cover for that from 1955.
Right.
I don't have a lot of first day covers, is what I'm getting at, but I have some that kind of connect to
Your state.
Yeah, because when I was growing up, I thought, well, that's really kind of neat.
Yeah, I mean that's cool.
Yeah.
Hey, Marlon. Mayor's
Hello,
video.
Marlon. Well, let's I'm not going to put you on the spot, but
Okay.
I did
Well,
say to Paul, I have some stamps I'm going to send him, because I ended up getting. It's another story for another day, but I ended up a friend of the family had some and said, "Oh, let's see if Jonathan wants them." So some of these are on paper. So I hope Paul. I'm going to send them to Paul, and I hope he does a video with his tongs and soaks those stamps and just shows how that's done and how you press them. So he's gonna.
yeah.
You should do that.
It's going to be a joint effort.
You have to take them off the paper. Well, joint effort. It's a one-person thing. It
Oh,
wouldn't be
no.
live. You'd soak them. You'd come back after an hour or two. Hopefully they'd float. You'd pick them up. You'd have to press them on a paper towel, I guess, or at least that's how I did it. Maybe there's a different way of doing it now.
Marlon knows what these are.
There you
Stamp
go.
tongs.
Yeah. See, did he call them tweezers?
No.
We'll leave it at that.
You know what I'm fixing to do. Oh, way.
They're not called tweezers, they're tongs.
I thought it'd be cool to talk about just that it's a different collection that you don't hear a lot of. I mean, you hear coin collection, dollar bill collections, whatever. Bottles and relics, and this is just another part of the treasure.
Yeah. They're part of our history. They're part of our culture.
Here we have Mr. George Washington.
So do you know what year that is? Or were you going to go through?
This set right here is from 1938.
Okay.
According to Mystic, it's the principal. As I'm thinking about your principal job you're going to take.
I would never be a principal.
Presidential series, guys.
Gray before you know it.
But here's Mr. George Washington.
So again, before, 38, all right, World War II was on the horizon in Europe, certainly. Hitler was causing problems. But America was not at war. We were coming out of the Great Depression. That is a really neat connection to those stamps. And in 1938, I'm going to guess it cost 2 or 3 cents to mail a letter.
Well, this is a 1 cent stamp.
Yeah. So that could be for like a postcard or something.
Here is a 2 cent stamp.
You got JBP looking at the U.S. Postal Service website now. And who's on that? John Adams? Who is that? Get your magnifying glass. You need one of those.
Yes, it is John Adams.
Yeah.
Yep. I barely could read that.
And these have all been canceled. These are used stamps. These are not mint.
Right.
But it looks like they've been lightly canceled. They're not, sometimes you get a really heavy cancel that obscures the artwork on the stamp.
I mean, that one's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
But
Well,
it's off to the side.
yeah, that's not bad.
Okay. Here we have a 3-cent stamp. Thomas Jefferson.
So you see
That
the
one is a little bit
heavier
yeah,
cancel.
yeah.
Now, another thing they talk about in stamps is the centering. So you have the stamp and then you have the margins. It's supposed to look like a portrait hanging on a wall in a way.
Yeah.
And
You don't
right, if
have
it's
you don't have
exactly.
much over your color's more this side
Yep.
than it is this side.
So as was printed. So if you have one that's really nicely centered, it's going to be, in theory, worth more. And then you see some stamps where the image just goes over the perforations, where it's really off center.
Here's one of, I can't tell, James somebody. That one is real close to being centered.
Yes, I agree. So you look at those margins and they're, yep, nicely centered. James Madison?
Maybe, John.
James Monroe? Well, if it's going from Washington, Adams, Jefferson, it would be Madison next. He was the 4th president.
Well, here's 4-cent. I skipped the 4-cent stamp.
Oh. Okay. I don't know, but if they do go in progression from presidents, the 4th was Madison, the 5th.
Okay, this is James Madison.
The 5th would be Monroe. That's right, Marlon, like misaligned die coins, exactly.
Yep.
Although a misaligned die coin is probably worth more. But a misaligned stamp is kind of the opposite.
Here is a 15-cent stamp. Trying to figure out, I can't see his name either. It's James something. You don't see that. It blurred, didn't it?
Buchanan? I don't know. I don't remember who the 15th is.
Yes.
Buchanan. Okay. So, yeah, because 16 was Lincoln, right?
That one's pretty close to being centered.
And that's an interesting cancel, too. It's kind of an oval.
Yep. Here
Paul's
is Mr.
caught the bug now. JBP. Uh-oh. You reading the chat? JBP says, okay, no fair. I found too many stamps I want.
Here is, have you ever noticed there's a lot of James that were presidents?
This is a popular name in the...
James Polk.
Now, he was before. Oh, because the 11-cent stamp. So they must have done that in that series. They must have just gone with the presidents that are...
I guess so.
All right. I'll see. There's another reason to collect that series. You can learn about your presidential history.
I wonder what that word is. Kind of looks like taco.
Chicago?
Maybe.
Is it AGO? No, it'll be CHIC. It can't be Chicago. No.
I don't know.
You should make you large, so we can see the stamp more. They do not need to see me. Oh, that's better. It does look like TACO. Tacoma, Washington, maybe.
Maybe.
That'd be my guess. Unless it's a taco town. Taco, Mexico. Jim's taco stand.
Yeah.
First day cover.
Now, I just noticed this 3-cent stamp. You can't see it until you go
Yep.
QLC.
Yep. That's called a perfin. And they did that for sometimes they did that for like government use.
Yeah. All right. Now, last one of the presidential series is a 6 cent, 6 cent stamp.
Okay, let's see. Washington, Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, Quincy Adams. That must
John,
be Hickory, Old
John,
Hickory, right?
huh?
Is that Old Hickory?
John,
Jackson? Oh, it's John? John Quincy Adams? Washington, John Adams, Jefferson, Madison, Monroe, John Quincy Adams was the 6th.
okay, so
Is
that's
that
who
a
that is.
okay?
Yeah.
7th would be Andrew Jackson.
So that's the ones I got for the presidential.
Oh, that's neat. I think I have those.
We'll try to
See?
get them back in the.
Yeah, they do, and it's interesting that they use different ink. So it's not just the denomination that's different; they use different colors of ink. So again, they're little. My wife and I, because we collected. Well, my wife really collected Christmas stamps. But if we went like to an antique store and if there was somebody who had a display, we'd usually pick some up. And we both agreed they're like little works of art. I mean, some of them are ugly, but some of them are really attractive.
Yes. But some of them are, for lack of knowing the term, are textured.
Yeah.
Which is really cool.
See, Paul, when I said I have stamps on paper, remember I told you I got this is.
I hope that ain't the box you're sending me.
I won't send you the box, but I'm gonna send you a bunch of these.
Okay.
You want to see some of these?
Yeah, sure.
I'll just randomly.
But so far, I won't do this real quick. This is my favorite stamp so far. Mr. Lou Gehrig.
So that would have been a first class stamp and when 25 cents mailed a letter. Now we're up to 50. Is it 57 cents? I don't know.
I don't even know.
So that's probably okay. So 57 in. I'm gonna guess it's from the 90s. Maybe the 80s.
I forget.
That's okay. I don't know either.
I mean, I'm like JBP.
73 cents. Oh my gosh, I'm really out of the loop.
Wow. I mean, I've still got stamps that one right there is the one I've got that texture.
Oh, that's a neat one.
Then you got Father Flanagan and Red Cloud.
Now, would you keep that on paper since you have the cancellation on it? Does it say the city or the town?
North Metro, Georgia.
So you could soak those or keep them on paper. Well, here, I'll do this. I'll show you some of the stamps. I just grabbed a handful of them
Okay.
just to get your. Here, we'll do this too.
And we're going to solo Jonathan
Well,
here.
you can do that if you want.
Yes. Yes. Reckon what they're trying to sell right there.
Yeah, so that's a neat cancellation. Buy U.S. savings bonds. Ask your postmaster. See, I would be tempted to not soak this one.
Yeah.
Maybe I'd trim it there.
Yeah. And
Maybe
at
trim it a
low
bit
at the top, yeah.
there.
Yeah. And
Stay
low at
away-
the top.
Yep, I keep that on paper.
I mean, that's perfect.
So 3-cent postage Hawaii. So when did Hawaii become a state?
1959,
58, 59?
I think.
Okay. So it looks, oh, actually, it's a really nice view. So it looks like right there, I don't know what that is, a little crease or something, but that's
Yes.
a neat stamp.
That is.
And the margins on this side are a little better than that side, but not bad.
Yes, JBP. She sometimes cuts them out with the whole postmark on them too.
Now, another neat thing you can do, Paul, is I'm going to guess this is probably from the early 1900s. République Française. 25, I'm going to guess centimes. You can take a picture of these with your phone and use Google Lens, and it will tell you what it is. I know, the catalogs are awesome, but let me bring down the light a little bit. It's overexposed. That's better. That's a neat one. That's on paper.
Yeah.
I don't have my tongs, Paul.
Oh no. Put that stamp back up there, Jonathan.
I'm gonna go closer.
No, let's.
Let me refocus.
Right there.
What are you looking at?
We are searching on Google.
Oh, okay.
So France, Yvert. Let me see here. France, Yvert. Yvert. 92 Scott, 99 Peace Commerce.
Okay,
Sage,
so
25 C.
Centimes?
I guess.
That's their cents, yeah. Now, you mentioned Scott numbers, and for people who don't know, for a lot of stamps, certainly the American stamps, but worldwide stamps, the Scott catalog number will tell you. So if this is, what was the Scott number for this?
It says Scott 99.
So it's number 99 in the catalog. So it was the 99th stamp, in a sense, that France produced.
What is Yvert? It says Yvert 92, Scott 99.
I have no idea what that means. I'd have to probably take a look at it.
Here's one that's saying it's 1876.
I wouldn't be surprised. It has that look to it. It's an oldie.
And that is for the 25 cent. Yes.
That's cool. That's a neat one. Boy, I better get my tongs. Should I go get my tongs?
Don't grab your tweezers. Hey, Kane.
Here's another American one. John Paul Jones. Barry. The Bonhomme Richard and the Lexington.
Says rare Ben. No, that's wrong.
So now that one's on paper. I assume that's Illinois.
J.P. Jones and John Berry.
Yep. And there's I mean I wouldn't I'd float this, I think, because that postmark is way off. You
Yeah,
can't tell where it is.
yeah.
There's no year or anything, so I'd probably float that and take it off paper. Soak it, and then the idea is the water, and you just soak it in warm water. The water dissolves the gum, and the stamp will float
Mm-hmm.
off, and then you pick it up with your tongs.
Tongs.
What is this one? Oh, another Frenchie. I think I see Nice. I may be wrong, but Nice is a
Nice.
city in France, so maybe that's where it was stamped. Nice, again, nice artwork on this.
Yes.
That one.
Well, this is in French, so I can't read.
Oh, you don't have to. Don't worry about it. I'm just. Where do we think this is from?
Germany.
Yep. Reichspost. 5 Pfennigs. I'm going to guess that is probably an early 1900s. That one's not on paper, I don't think. Well, see, sadly, it looks like it was ripped off the paper.
Yeah.
So I would soak that to get that off. But the danger of doing that, I think, is what you see right there is a little bit of damage to the stamp, unless that is paper. I don't know. I can't tell. Actually, it does look like paper. I would definitely soak that. That's a neat looking one. Yeah, it's probably a pre-World War I stamp. Nice design, too.
Yes.
Oh, in fact, I'm going to guess that's a pre-World War I stamp because look right there, you got a crown. So back when they had a Kaiser Wilhelm, or his father.
How about 1889?
Oh, there you go. Now, unfortunately, so you see the perforations there. They look good. You see them there, and then they're cut.
Yep.
And it's cut there. That devalues a stamp too when you have the cut perforations and you have perforations and cut there. Still a neat stamp. I would have no problem putting that in an album, but a purist would want all those perforations.
Mm-hmm.
So this was probably cut out of an envelope. They clipped the stamp a little bit, and then they ripped the paper off.
Yep.
Huh. Interesting. See, again, you got this little detective work that you do when you collect stamps. What's that one? Well, we know what date this is. So in 1855, America started these land grant colleges like the University of Georgia, University of New Hampshire, 1855 and 1955. Oh, and Penn State and Michigan State. United States postage. So that's cool. Looks like strike back at cancer. Give. And something American, probably American Cancer Society. I think I see a Y there. So that's there too. I probably wouldn't I'd cut that there. I would just trim this paper. I wouldn't float this one. Cut it there. Just kind of square it off,
Yep.
I'd keep it on there because that's an interesting cancellation.
Too bad it ain't got the S.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you can see the part of the MERIC. It's American.
Yep.
And if it's strike back against cancer, you can American. I see a CA, part of an N, a little bit of a C there. It's part of the E. Cancer. I see a little bit of a curve there. SOCI. See a little bit of the E there. TY. Yeah. Interesting.
Cool.
See, again, these classic stamps. I mean, We made some nice ones.
Just like dollar bills and
See,
coinage. We made some nice ones, but we all got away from it.
this is one you'd have to float, Paul, because this has one of your 1 cents there. George Washington. Look at it, has the gutter. So it was on a sheet,
Yep.
and they kept this little piece there. I think it's called the gutter. Like
And-
cancel, but unfortunately, it's stuck to this one, which
Ooh.
is FDR, a 2-cent stamp, and it has this embossed postage, which unfortunately it ripped. So somebody just decided to rip this quickly.
And we just looked at one of those of that George Washington 1 cent stamp.
Yeah, and I don't want to. I'm just using this is a toothpick. That's affixed to there, so you'd have to float. That would have to be floated. And there are people who just, I don't know what these are called, but these impressed stamps, there are people who collect those too. I don't know. They're interesting. So that would have been part of an envelope that already had a 1 cent postage embossed on it, and they just added the 2 cents to it. So this back when it cost 3 cents, I guess. Well, what else do we have here? Oh, this is kind of neat. Oh, here you go again. Okay. So these are 2 3-cent stamps that they're not separate. It's so on the sheet they needed 6 cents worth of stamps, so they got 2 3 cents. They're still connected.
Okay.
Buy U.S. savings bonds.
Yep.
That's the Charter Oak from Connecticut. Yep, the Turson Center. Oh, so there you go. That's from 1935. October 15th.
Is that curled right there on that 3 cents?
It is, yeah. So
Okay.
again, you'd have to. This one I would soak. Everything's there. You have to, when it's wet, press it. But that's a whole process again.
Yep.
That's a neat one. Like I said, Paul, you're going to be getting a bunch of these. It's for our friends up north, 1937.
Would that be wouldn't be the World's Fair, would it?
I don't know. It's a something fair. Maybe Toronto, 1937. What fair was held in Toronto in 1937? There too. I'd cut that there, square it off there.
Yep.
Square it off there. And I don't know who that is. It doesn't look like a king. Maybe it is. Okay, 37. Would that be George VI? Maybe that is George VI. JBP, there probably are. Well, I'm sure there are videos on YouTube and that show you how to do it. I mean, I'm guessing that is Toronto. I don't know. But yeah, very clear year. And like you said, fair. It's a shame they didn't keep more of that cancellation.
Okay, let's see. 1937 Canadian. They had the Canadian National Exposition in Toronto. So, are you still with me, Jonathan?
I'm there. Yeah, I'm
okay.
Listening to your
You got
research.
awful quiet. You scared me. Okay. Yeah, that's pretty neat. Oh wait. You done got started, Jonathan.
Sorry. This is neat.
Headed to the creek. Hello, hello. We're talking about a different kind of collection. People don't think about too much. Now that looks embossed. Is it?
It is.
We're talking about
So again, stamp collecting, philately, they much like numismatists or numismatics is coin collecting. Bayern, Bayern, is German for Bavaria.
Okay.
Now, the fact that it says Bavaria on it tells me this is probably from the German Empire. This is probably from the 1800s. I don't know. And it's 20 pfennigs. That's a neat one. Just take a look at the back. Oh, look at that. It's German
Is that
writing
a
on it.
6 cent or 6 pfennig?
20 pfennig.
20 pfennig.
I can... It's very, I don't know if it's faded or if it was just printed light. Bring up the exposure. No, I should probably bring down the exposure, if anything. See, it's a nice pale blue. It's not quite picking it up on here. That might be, I really turned down the contrast, so that's probably the actual color of it. But I mean, my guess would be 1880s, 1890s Germany. I don't know.
I'm not saying a date, so. I don't know, Jonathan. That is a neat.
A little bit of a mystery. I don't know. Do you want to keep going on doing these, or you want to close this up?
Oh, let's close it up.
All right. Well, here's the last one I just found. That's a Victoria. Queen Victoria, 2.5 pence. That's kind of a neat one, too. Well, that's not, that is a neat one. And that's on paper. I don't know if I'd float that or not. Heavy, 2 cancels.
Yes, very heavy.
In fact, it looks like DONW, so it's probably London West. And then there's this one, which would have had, I think, a number or something here. Anyway, yeah, you're getting a bunch of these. Surprise.
Thank you.
I just got to actually get to the post office to mail them.
But yeah, that's, you know, just a different type of collection that a lot of people are into, but you don't really hear a whole lot about.
Right.
I mean, it's been around for ages and ages. I know I done it when I was a kid. Jonathan said he did it, and JBP's done it. I mean, really, if you think about it, it ain't that hard to get into, especially if you got like grandparents or somebody may have kept a lot of old love letters and wartime letters. Check them out and see if you can just clip the stamps off of them.
Let me show you one more.
Oh, Lord. We're fixing to get knocked off of YouTube.
No, nothing like that. It's neat. 3 stamps on paper. A 50-cent stamp. I mean, back in the day, I'm going to guess this is from the 30s. 50 cents was a lot of money. What the heck were they mailing? A 30-cent stamp with a bison on it, which is a shame it's damaged.
Yes.
But I chuckled because, and then there's a picture of Paul Hughes on this one.
Look at there.
Paul, you made a stamp. You're the 13-cent stamp. Look at that beard.
Told you I've been around for a long time.
And again, what a neat cancellation. It's just like 2 ovals, but you know.
There's 3 ovals.
Well, and one,
Yeah.
two, but yeah, they canceled each stamp. But yeah, so some poor postal clerk was just going clunk, 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 clunk. Anyway, all right. I had to just show you that one.
Uh-huh. And I won't leave you on full screen.
Oh boy.
my. But yeah,
Hi,
that's
Deej.
hey Deej.
We're looking at old stamps, new stamps, stamp collecting. I don't know. Maybe this will be a thing we'll do, Paul. We'll
Okay.
bounce back and forth.
Yeah, I've got, like I said, I've got several more of
Oh boy.
these that came from Mystic Stamp Company.
Like, look at this is all like an amalgam of these have to be
Oh, wow.
folded. They're all stuck together. And if you try pulling them off, they're just gonna. So you are gonna have to soak these stamps, Paul. But it'll be worth your time.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Here's a set that has not been torn apart.
Oh, that's neat. So is that airmail, I assume?
It's whatever B postage is.
That looks like a newer airmail stamp.
I think it was maybe 79.
Okay. I think in my US collection, I stopped at like 1960. And that's probably just because that's what well, if I got these stamps back in the 70s, like late 70s, you know, the 60s were stamps from the 60s were only 15, 20 years old. So I don't know.
And guys, when I tell you I don't throw none of your letters and stuff away, I'm telling the truth. I mean, that's, you know, there's a from B3.
See, now I've got to look.
Here's a B. I've got a set. I got a collection here that I got from Mystic. That is called the Love Collection. I don't know.
No, I just looked on YouTube and I searched for soaking stamps off paper. Mystic Stamp Company has a video on how to soak stamps off paper. That's funny.
Here's a cool airmail.
Oh, that must be a newer one.
But yeah,
that's neat. Because airmail, I don't think airmail is a thing anymore.
Canada it is.
Oh, okay.
It was this dude.
That's Marvin Gaye. And yes, I recall who sent that to you.
Christmas. Now here's one that will be cool to just keep a lot of the paper. Got a snow globe, says Happy Holidays, and
That's neat.
we got several Canada. But there's another one that'd be cool to little F.
Yeah. Yeah, I bet there are people who collect the postmarks as much as they collect the stamps.
And there's some crazy stamps too. That gold is shiny. I don't know if it's
Couldn't even tell you what that's supposed to be. A cat.
a cat, I guess. Lunar New Year, whatever that is.
Oh, okay.
I
Chinese.
thought I had one Marty's airmail. But evidently I do not.
See, when I mail to Canada, let me grab it. And if it's less than an ounce, it's like a card. You just use these, and they're circular.
Yeah.
But they're global forever stamps. But they don't say airmail. I think in America, most mail travels by air anyway, so I think that's why they did away with airmail stamps in America.
This is one I got from Deej. I like the Santa Claus snow globe.
That's neat.
Now, let me ask you this, Jonathan.
Mm-hmm.
The lickable stamps
Mm-hmm.
versus the sticker stamp.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think would be worth more?
Would be worth more today?
I
Or
mean,
do you mean
in value. Yeah,
well, I'd say the ones that are
as far as
gummed.
collecting.
As far as collecting, I'd say definitely the gum stamps. The self-adhesive stamps are only something that America did like 20 years. So if you're looking for a history and that kind of depth of collecting and the artwork and everything else, I'd collect the ones that were gummed. But if you collect them, like the ones that you have from the 30s, they've been canceled.
Mm-hmm.
So you think about somebody wet the stamp, put it on the envelope. The envelope was canceled. The way you have them, they're not on paper. So somebody at some point floated them off the paper, pressed them so they were dry.
Mm-hmm.
So they don't have the gum anymore, the adhesive anymore. But yeah, those are going to be your older ones. So that's what I would collect. If that makes sense.
Yep. Here's one.
Yeah, I'd say all those are self-adhesive. I mean, they're nice. They're great stamps. It's just like coin collecting or anything else. You collect what interests you.
Yeah. That's from Canada, or from Germany.
Luftpost, yeah. Airpost.
Yep. Deutschland.
Das ist gut.
Ja.
Jawohl.
Oh, way.
Mein Freund. Have you ever bought any of the bag of used stamps from Hobby Lobby? I bought a bag before. Only thing you get a lot of like in the bag. I've heard that, JBP, that people get a lot of those like flag stamps. I don't know if they're forever stamps, but you get a lot of those. I guess I would only get a bag like that if they said 100 different stamps. But yeah, I've heard that as well. Yeah, so you'd get maybe 30 stamps like that. Maybe that's what we should do. Go to Hobby Lobby, get one of those bags, and just go through it and see what's in there. Or maybe JBP can join us. Now, I do like the American flag stamps, and there are obviously different designs. And that's neat, too, because you have the Christmas cancellation.
And two different cancellations too. One's the boy and one's the girl.
Are those from the same? Excuse me. Are those from the same like same town? Same person.
Yes.
So I wonder if the towns use their own cancellation design like that. In other words, at Christmas time, do all the post offices that collect mail use the same, told, this month you have to use one of these stamps, or is that just
Well,
something that's unique to that?
The
that
big
town?
thing here in Georgia, we have a little town called Bethlehem.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody sends their Christmas cards to Bethlehem, so
Mhm.
to get postmarked Bethlehem, Georgia.
Yeah.
Yeah, both of these were from Anthony, Brooklyn Treasure Hunter.
Okay. That's neat.
But you see two different cancellations
Mm-hmm.
marks. So
Different years?
yes,
Oh, okay. Okay.
I'm not sure. Yeah, one's December 12th, 22, and the other one's December 5th, 23.
That's really neat.
And that's why I keep y'all's letters and all your envelopes and get some cool looking stamps.
So send Paul your stamps and the envelopes and whatever else you want to put in the envelope.
But yeah, this airmail one, it's textured too.
Yeah, that's nice.
So
That's neat.
got a lot of learning to do about floating stamps.
It's really easy.
It kind of sounds like laundering money. Oh,
I'll watch that video, but as I remember, you get a bowl or some sort of obviously container. Warm water, tap water is fine. You put the stamps in there, let them soak for about an hour. The stamps hopefully will float off the paper. If they don't, you use your tongs. Just really carefully. You don't want to pull them. If you have to you can keep them in there overnight if you want. Take them off. I used to dry them between two paper towels and put a weight on it like an old book. Then once they're kind of dried that way, then you take them off and put them between two white pieces of paper on a windowsill with a book, just so they kind of get a little warm, and leave them for a day. And then they're ready to put in your album. That's how I used to do it as a kid. But
yeah, I'm not laughing at you. I'm laughing at Charlie Reiser.
Charlie Reiser.
He used to mail his kids off.
Yes, I did hear that. Yeah. You had enough postage, yeah. They'd go on a train. But I think that would be a fun thing to try doing. Now, there also, gosh, see, I'm going back here. There was a type of ink called fugitive ink. And what happened with British stamp, I don't think any American stamps were stamped with fugitive ink, but British stamps were, and other stamps from Europe were. And the reason what would happen is if you put the stamp in water, the ink would start to dissolve. So when you took the stamp out, it would look really remarkably faded. And they did that to prevent people from reusing the stamp, because if the stamp, I guess back when, 20 centimes or 50 pfennigs or whatever, it was worth a lot of money, that people would take the stamps and try to get another another use out of them. So that was a way to avoid that sort of fraud.
And
so
that's why that one set that you had the 3 ovals on it.
Yeah.
Because they forgot to stamp one or ink mark it, they could take it off and reuse it.
Sure. Yeah.
And that's the whole purpose of the marking of the stamps.
That's right. You have to, but you're right. If it's not canceled by the post office, kind of fair game, I guess, especially when you're talking about a 50-cent stamp back in the 1930s.
Exactly.
Who wouldn't try to reuse it? But it was it a 50-cent stamp, like a 30? So I don't know if it was the Capitol building or something. It was a 50-cent stamp. A 30-cent stamp was the Buffalo,
Yeah.
and the 13-cent stamp was the president. That was a lot of money back in the 30s. I wonder what they were.
Exactly.
And I think that oh, you know what? I say, what were they putting in an envelope that would have cost that much? But no, they could have. It could have just been parcel paper, that brown
Yep.
paper. Maybe that was it, and they were mailing like a Christmas present or something. That would make more sense. I don't know. Well, Paul, we've been on for an hour.
We have talking about little bitty tiny pieces of paper.
Yeah, good old philately. I'm a philatelist. You're a philatelist. JVP's a philatelist.
It's part of American history.
It is. It is. You can learn an awful lot.
I mean, not many people think of stamps as collectible.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I would have thought about it if I hadn't got into it at an early age.
Right.
And I wished I had that book. Me and my sister was discussing it yesterday.
Okay.
And she remembers. And I about had that book filled up too. It wasn't but
Yeah, but still.
20 pages.
Yeah.
That little book was about that thick by the time whatever happened to it.
Yeah.
So it was. Yeah,
think-
stamp collecting was big back earlier.
Do you think you have that stamp album somewhere?
No.
Oh, okay. I don't know if you're. I was kind of hoping you'd end the story with, "And my sister thinks it's in her attic."
Well, we was hoping it was in the hope chest or cedar chest.
Just means you have to start over, Paul. I mean, it'll be fun. It'll be fun. I've caught the bug again. So I want to get my album out, and well, it's not my album. I told you this. I had an album when I was a kid. I think I told you this. And the house we had before this one, we had a flood in the basement, and it was in a box. So it was kind of, standing up like that, and the bottom got a little wet, and I didn't want it to get moldy. So I took the stamps that I wanted to keep out of there, and put them in those newer pages. And I'll show. I'm gonna pull this out next time we stream, and I'll show you the pages that I have.
Yeah, this was kind of a spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Live stream. I mean, so yeah, if you got stamps, start collecting. Right?
And if you have stamps and you like them, take a picture, send them to Paul. We'll put them on the stream and do a little bit of research on them.
We'll figure something out how to do that.
Yeah. Deed
Find your coolest stamp, and we'll put you on stream.
Thank you,
JBP. If you would like to join us one Friday night and talk about your stamp, more than welcome. We'll share the link with you.
And just hop on with Paul, and you and he can chat. Deed said, I think my brother collected them when he was a kid. Yeah. I guess it was really big. Well, I don't know when it stopped becoming as popular, but like that album that I got from our family friend was from the 50s.
I know in the 70s it was pretty popular.
Yeah. Then probably when video games hit, Yeah. Unfortunately, but
video killed the radio star. Remember that song? The video games killed the stamp collectors.
And probably, I don't know if it killed coin collecting. Coin collecting's always been pretty popular, but
yeah.
I think if we were to compare coin collecting and stamp collecting, coin collecting would be way up here. Stamp collecting.
Oh
would be
yeah, oh yeah.
right down there.
Now back in the 70s, I would say it was like that.
Yeah,
I mean, that,
because you could, even back in the 70s, I imagine you could probably collect. Well, stamps are probably not, apart from the really rare stamps, they were easily obtainable. And back in the 60s and 70s, I didn't quite think of this, but back in the 60s and 70s and the 50s, it must have been interesting to get stamps from places like Russia and East Germany and Czechoslovakia and Hungary and Poland, all these communist Cold War Iron Curtain. Because gosh, I mean, how much of that stuff came out in the West? But I bet people collected those countries.
oh yeah.
But yeah, but even then, with coin collecting, you probably still found silver in circulation.
Mm-hmm.
So coin collecting probably was even a little bit more, for younger kids, a little more attainable. The coins are more attainable. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll I don't know, do I start collecting again, or do I? The coin show that's near, there are two big coin, well, there's a monthly coin show, and I think there are some stamp dealers there. But I know the two big ones they have every year, there are stamp dealers. It's, again, it's probably 80%, 90% coin collecting, 10% stamps. But see, now I want to go.
Jonathan will be live from his stamp collection show.
You know what? That would be neat. Some
That
places are
would.
really picky about that, though. They don't want you.
I know. I know.
JBP, collect coins too. Also collect the flattened pennies. That's fun.
I have one, and I found it, a flattened penny. So I've got one of those. I hadn't really got into, I don't know, collecting pennies, flattened pennies like that.
We I don't know if Charlie Reiser's here, but no, my wife didn't make it. So it was just they went to Salem, Massachusetts, and I went down there and met up with them, and I know I got some flattened pennies there. My wife and I, if we go somewhere, we always see if there's a flattened penny machine somewhere, and we search it out, just as a memento of places we've been.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. So Charlie, remember in I don't know if you remember, in Salem, I found that flattened penny machine. In fact, I sent some to Brad. But that's neat too. Yeah, I hate to say it. We have like 3 of those little trifold binders of flattened pennies.
Defacing money.
It's okay. It's perfectly legal.
And ain't nobody gonna say anything about it once the penny disappears anyway.
No. The problem is taking something like a penny and making it into a nickel or a dime and passing it off as such. You can take any money you want and do whatever you want with it in the name of art or whatever.
Yeah.
It's not illegal. Well, okay, that's my understanding. I'm not a lawyer. Charlie said we have friends who just came back last week from Salem. They said it was bonkers. Oh yeah, it was crazy when. Did you and Sandy come up before Halloween or after Halloween? It was crazy then too. It's usually a pretty, unless I guess you go on like a Saturday, it's a pretty sedate city, Salem, Mass. It's really pretty, but JBP, I got 4 books full, and I got about 50 in a different book too. That's neat.
Wow.
Do a live stream on flattened pennies. They were there several weeks before. Oh, okay. Okay. I thought I asked because I seem to remember it was near Halloween because there were parking bans. There were signs all on the street saying you can't park here. And I had to park way the heck, like 8 or 9 blocks away from that graveyard where we met.
But all right, guys. Well, if y'all like this, let us know. I mean, you can comment after the stream on the comments and stuff.
Which is not to say we're done with coins. I'm still. Then you too.
We just needed a little fresh air.
Yeah.
And we may not do it next week, or we may talk something else next week or week after, whatever.
Yeah.
JBP says she likes it. She likes it. She likes it.
Yeah, good.
I mean, it's just something a little different.
Right.
Jonathan's fault I got the bug.
Well, it was laying dormant in you, Paul.
I
just showed you that album and started talking about it, and then you said, "Yeah, I have some." And
he kicked off some memories, and I was like,
"And what did you go and do?" I'm gonna order this.
I just ordered a catalog. I wasn't expecting the stamp.
Okay. So let me ask you this. That's right, Charlie. So Miss Belinda, your wife bought these stamps. Does that mean that Mystic is going to send you another set, or is that it?
Sounds like a subscription.
Oh, okay.
Style.
I didn't know if it was you buy one set, and once you buy them, you're kind of like the old Columbia House CDs that back in the day.
But you'd get to send back the ones you don't want.
Yeah.
You don't. You're not obligated to buy anything.
Yeah.
You cannot buy.
How often are they going to send you these?
I don't know.
Next week you get a big box. And it's going to cost you more to send it back. So you think,
no, they pay for their postage.
They pay return postage?
Yes.
Oh, that's pretty good then. I'll give them props for that.
Okay. They are 5 stamps in this little envelope.
Don't look too closely, folks. That's for next week. I'm just joking.
Yeah. That was for next week. Well, there's 7 stamps in this one.
So you might as well do like 2 or 3 envelopes a week, or the next time we do it, because by then you're going to get others. And you can at least show them and say, I'm not getting this, but I don't know. I'm telling you what to do. I'm sorry.
And like these, the ones we looked at tonight was from, what, say, 1939, John? 38.
38.
1938. Yep. The range from there, I got them all the way up to 2012. So, I mean, they just pick random stamps to send you. And the ones you want, you keep. The ones you don't want, you send back.
But they're categorized somehow. They're not random.
Yeah.
In that sense.
Like the ones we looked at tonight was presidential series. Commemorative. 1945 through 1946. Airmail, 2008 to 2012. Some more commemoratives. I will show you.
Early airmails can get pricey too.
Quilt collection or quilt series. 98 to 2002, 1957. So they give you a variety of years. Or they did on this one. Now, the next one, it may be all 2024s.
Yeah. Now, when you return them, can you say, I collect whatever? I like collecting stamps from.
They give you the option of new, used, I forget.
It's okay, but
but it's they give you several options like overseas if you want to collect just overseas.
Mm-hmm.
Just different options, and I mean,
Yeah, that's a real rabbit hole.
yeah. All I done was U.S. new and used, and everything else will come later. Let me relearn the whole stamp collecting.
Learn how to use your tongs.
No,
Are those your stamp tongs from back in the day, or are those
no,
just no?
these are the ones I got these for my doing my hobbies and stuff.
Oh, that's neat.
I've never used these.
I like how they have that spring-loaded function.
Yes,
That's neat.
it gives you the option to clamp it, look at it.
The tongs I have are, I think it's called spade tongs. The ends have a little, like, almost looks like a flat shovel. I guess so I can grab onto the stamp a little easier.
Kind of like tweezers.
Kind of like tweezers, yeah. They're not meant to tweeze, though. Well, I mean, the thing is, you don't want anything pointed because you don't want to rip the stamp or poke a hole in the stamp. You want it flat.
Like
So,
these. You do not
yeah,
want
pointies are, yeah, that's not good for, well, I don't know. I would argue those probably aren't great for stamps.
And then if it wasn't so pointy, say it was flat here.
Yeah.
You do not want the ones that's got the grooves
Right.
inside. And I know you're inside.
Right.
Right there. Because that will, that's why I don't like these, because you have to pinch them to hold them.
Mm-hmm.
And you can over pinch the stamp, and then you'll have the indentions of your grooves on your stamp.
Right. Especially when you float them and they're wet. They're really prone to being torn or having those marks left on them.
Good night, Deej. Have a good evening.
Yep. Good night, everybody.
Yes, good night. Everybody sleep tight. Don't let big bugs bite. But yeah, we'll do some more of these stamps. Yeah. Get Jonathan look through some of his.
I just sent you that link. I'm gonna watch it after we get off.
Okay.
See if I'm doing anything wrong, or see if there's a new updated method.
Sounds good.
Soaking stamps off of paper. All right. Well, Paul,
Y'all have a great weekend.
We have a long weekend coming up because it's Veterans Day next weekend.
Next weekend. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe I would potentially be willing to stream again if you want.
Sound good.
All right, Paul.
Jonathan, you'll hang tight for a minute.
Yes,
good night, everybody. Y'all have a good weekend. We'll see you next time.
Take care.
Take care.